What's up guys, it's Denadon here, and today I am back in Star Citizen where I am taking advantage of the free week to give you a look at the Cutlass Black, which is my first Drake ship actually that I've done a video in because I don't actually own any. But as it's a free weekend, I can show you a bit about what it looks like. Now, you can do this pretty much with any free week ship by going onto the website, going into my hangar, and then removing all your ships from your hangar and clicking save. What that does, it seems, is it will show you whatever the free ship is, and it will also just pick a random assortment of your vehicles, or ships rather, and put them in your hangar. So for example, here's the Cutlass right in front of me. If we look over there, you can see you've got one of my Auroras, one of my Mustangs, my Freelancer, my great Freelancer by the way. Over there you've got another Mustang, you've got my Super Hornet, my Redeemer, and probably some other ships that I can't see from this camera angle. But anyway, let's go down these steps. We're in the Asteroid hangar, or the VFG Industrial as it's now called, because this is what you get when you come with the Cutlass. And basically, if you have a ship that gets this hangar, like the Cutlass, then you will automatically have access to every other hangar in the game. So it's a pretty good idea to get one of these if you want them. I, of course, already had one of these hangars from one of my bigger ships, but that's not the issue. So anyway, back to the actual ship at hand, the Cutlass. You can see right away we got these interesting weapons at the front. Now the Cutlass has always been touted as being basically the ideal pirate or smuggler's ship, because they're supposed to be pretty cheap, they're kind of disposable, but they can do a bit of everything. So we'll have a look at that and see what we think. So you've got the guns, you've got this big one that is what the Hornet has under the wings, which I quite like. Now if we move around, you've got these, I forget what they're called, but they look cool. Bunch of missiles under there. You've got the maneuvering thrusters, and you've got a turret on the top making up your main armament. Now if we move around here, you'll see the legs are quite, tough, durable ones. We've got these wing fins of some sort. These maneuvering thrusters on the side, which I'm not sure if they actually work or not at the moment. They look like they do, but I've heard that they may not actually be giving any thrust, which could be an issue. You've got the big wide underbelly, which if we duck under here, you can see there's an airlock hatch here, which you can open from the inside. And then if we move on around, uncrouch, you can see you've got the engines here. They can pivot a full, 360 degrees, so they're kind of agile. And then there's thrusters on the back that are supposed to be under here, but are not. So I think you can add those in the holo table, but they won't do anything, so that's a bit of an issue. Move on back, you've got the rather narrow rear part of the ship, but that's the boarding ramp. We'll go in there in a second. And then there's the other engine, so not a bad looking ship really. There's the turret sitting on top. And one thing to keep in mind is all these ships are currently being reworked by Foundry 42 over in the UK, so they might actually end up looking quite a bit different to what we see here right now. But I doubt they'll change too much. They'll probably just redo the interior, which we've heard about, and a couple of other things. But anyway, let's get inside it. Now, with the Cutlass, everything is controlled by buttons, which is really nice. So for example, we want to use the cargo ramp, we have to press this button here, and then the cargo ramp will come down. I'm hoping that they add this to the other ships, because it does make it much nicer. So if we move on up, this is the Cutlass Black, which is the base model. It's kind of a general utility, do everything. So you can see pretty Spartan cargo interior, but it does have quite good cargo space. You've got a pretty interesting looking space toilet there. Not sure how you want to do that. I don't want to use it. Then you've got your beds here. Oop, camera's glitching a bit, but that's the bed. One of them, then there's one on the other side. Now you've got these buttons here for controlling the various things. So if we press that one should shut the ramp up. Yep, there it goes. And then if we hit, I think the bottom one, it's so hard to aim because I don't know what I'm looking at. Did I hit it? No, I don't think so. There we go, I hit it. Oh, no, I hit the top one. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Just shut that back up. Now, if we move on over here, you've got, I think these are supposed to be airlocks or power supply or something. I'm not sure what they are, but they look kind of nice in detail regardless. Got a couple jump seats here, which you can use, of course. Got this, which if I remember right, controls the airlock, does it? Yep, there it goes. See, the airlock opens. Now you can drop through the floor onto the hangar below. But we're not going to do that, so we're going to shut that back up. Nice watching that animation go as it folds up nicely. Now we've got these two. The top one opens the door to get to the cockpit. The bottom one, if you can hit it, lowers the seat for the turret, which we'll see come down there, nice and fast. But yeah, it's kind of awkward, so you can get in it, but I'm not going to because you can't exactly see much from this turret, which is a bit of a design issue, but yeah. So we'll put the turret back, watch it go back up. It goes really fast. I think that's probably, you know, too fast. If it goes up like that, you're going to cut your limbs off or something, which maybe fits the Drake style, who knows. But yeah, this is the neck of the ship. Ooh, bit of texture flickering there. And yeah, this is the way you get to the cockpit. But also note there's a little door here, which if you press this button is a second way to get in and out. It's like a little airlock, which you can actually get out of as well. And then there's a ladder behind here to actually get in and out of the ship. So, you know, go down here and then the ladder extends and you can slide down it. Or alternatively, you can then get up into it. And there's a button here that will control that as well. So let's get back up. We want to actually get in the ship, so better do that. Wait for him to climb up. And yeah, so this is also a good way to, you know, just climb on your ship and look around it. Look through this hangar, which is obviously quite big because it's got the other stuff. There's the nice nasty turret, some kind of shark mouth motif there. I don't know if the turret is any good. I haven't actually really flown this ship in combat yet, but we'll have to see. But the detail on that turret is quite nice if you ask me. So let's move on forward and we'll get back into the ship. Oops, get back into the ship. I can't just walk into it apparently, I have to actually hit the motion thing, which I can't seem to find at the moment. Come on, where are you? Where are you? Let me in my ship, damn it. Come on. Well, it's not my ship, so maybe this is retaliation. They're saying, no, you can't get this. Oh, there we go. I just found dumb luck, found it. But yeah, you got some interesting stickers. It's kind of blurry. We've got meme cat or business cat. I don't know what it's called, but it's stuck on there. A screen that appears to be on its side and a bunch of low-res textures because all these panels don't do anything yet. And then here's the cockpit. It's a two-seater. You've got the rear operator's seat, and then you've got... Oh, I've crouched down into the floor, apparently. But yeah, you've got the rear operator's seat, and then you've got the actual pilot's seat. I'm going to move back to let the camera reset. But yeah, so this is a two-person ship for flying it, plus third person if you include the turret. And yeah, this whole seat thing, if you look on these tracks here, will slide to the center when you actually go to fly it. So let's get in. He climbs on in. You've got the screens there. Seat chair slides on over, and then we get the Arena Commander window. So of course that then leads us to ask, how does the Cutlass actually fly? So let's switch over to that and find out. So here we are in Dying Star, just in free flight as usual, doing some flying. And I've heard a lot of people saying that the Cutlass doesn't fly like it should. Like, you know, they say, oh, it's too slow, it's too cumbersome, you know, it accelerates too slowly, you have to use boost. Well, here's the thing. The Cutlass is a much bigger ship than every other ship we've got so far. And it should, to me, feel like it's a heavy ship. Because, you know, that's what you're doing. You're flying a big-ass ship. You're not flying a single-man fighter. So, that's my opinion of it anyway. And it still handles pretty well. It drifts quite a bit, but to me, that makes it feel more like, you know, it's got actual mass and inertia behind it, which it should do. And then, as you can see, the boost still gives some ridiculous speeds. They've upped its speed from what I last remember it. I remember hearing it, they could say it only did 160, but now it seems to do 180, which makes it on par with most of the other single-seaters anyway. And it's got some decent firepower. You've got, you know, the repeaters and the bearings. The sawbuck, that's the other gun I was trying to think of. And then you've got the Joker sucker punches, which don't actually do very much at all in Arena Commander at the moment. So you'll find most people really don't like them. But what they're supposed to do later in the game is allow you to actually, you know, take out a ship by disabling it rather than destroying it. Which, given this ship is intended for piracy predominantly, that would be a great thing. Because, you know, you can disable your target and then board them rather than just, you know, blowing them into smithereens and trying to scavenge what's left. So as we've got a collision notice here, let's switch to the exterior and see how the ship looks. So you can see, you know, as we spin it around, the boosters will actually move around with us. They're not moving a lot, which is something I find is probably good, because I remember seeing videos where they were moving around way too much. See, Like, when they move like that, they seem to move, like, you know, a bit too quickly for my taste, given they're pretty big. Also, that boost effect and sound is pretty over the top, but it looks cool, so I can give them that. So, you know, we can fire a bit here if we want to as we drift sideways. But yeah, it handles pretty well, I think, otherwise. And yeah, it's our first taste of what a big ship might actually look and fly like. So it makes me interested in seeing, you know, how will my Freelancer or my Redeemer in that fly. And of course, we want to see how the constellations will fly later on down the track. But yeah, this is the Drake Cutlass, and I think it's a nice enough ship. It has its problems, sure, but I don't know, I think every ship should have its problems. They're not perfect. That's what makes reality a thing. Not everything is perfect, and I think, why can't we have that in a game? This shouldn't be able to compete one-on-one with a single-seat dedicated fighter, because this isn't a single-seat dedicated fighter, it's a lot bigger. This has got the cargo advantage in that the single-seat fighter doesn't. So, that's just my view anyway. Why don't we have some diversity in ships? Not everything has to be balanced, because, let's face it, in reality, not everything is balanced. But anyway, I'm Denadon. This is enough blabbing from me about the Cutlass. Safe landings.